Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are firmly pushing the word in sincerity and in faith, and Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be basically an update on this winter storm. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read some of this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will you're edified. It says a deadly storm. It's like a deadly winter storm that brought massive snowfall across the U.S., knocked out power to hundreds of thousands of people in the South, and crippled travel in the Northeast. It says most flight cancellations in American Airlines history. At least 35 dead across the U.S. 220 million Americans on alert for extreme cold. It says American Airlines said this was the most disruptive storm in the airline's 100-year history. American has canceled more than 9,000 flights and expects impacts to be felt for 2 more days. American said 25% of its Tuesday flights are canceled. Across the U.S., more than 1,800 flights are canceled on Tuesday, with Dallas, Boston, and New York hit the hardest. Over 11,000 flights were canceled on Sunday, marking the highest day for cancellations since the pandemic, according to Cirium data. It says at least 35 deaths have been attributed to the storm nationwide, according to the Associated Press. In Fannin County, Texas, north of Dallas, 3 brothers died after falling into an icy pond, officials said. In Frisco, Texas, near Dallas, a 16-year-old girl died from a sledding accident, according to Frisco police. The victim and another girl were being pulled on a sled by a teenage boy driving a car when the sled struck a curb and then hit a tree. Sheesh. Said in the Austin area, a victim was found dead in the parking lot of an abandoned gas station from apparent hypothermia. In Arkansas, a 17-year-old boy died after he was pulled by an ATV in the snow and struck a tree, according to Saline County Sheriff's Office. In Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, 3 people died while removing snow, the county coroner said. The victims ranged in age from 60 to 84, the coroner said, adding, I remind the public to use caution when shovel snow, especially individuals with a history of heart disease or other medical concerns. 8 people died in New York City, and a retired police officer died on Long Island while shoveling snow, according to New York ABC station WABC. Another man was found dead with a shovel in his hand in Verona, New Jersey, according to local police. In Massachusetts, a woman died after a snowplow backed into her in a parking lot. It says deaths were also reported in Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi, Kansas, Ohio, and South Carolina. Yeah, so things are exactly how the men of the Lord have been prophesying they were going to be. And these winter storms, the extreme cold, the power outages, and all of these deaths are all the judgments of the Heavenly Father. Psalms 9 and 16. The Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hand. Higgaion Selah. And that's right. The Heavenly Father is known by his judgment. These powerful, destructive, deadly storms are the judgments of the Lord. this frigid weather is judgment from the Lord. That's why apparently somebody already died from hypothermia because of how cold it's been. And then these other deaths, are judgment of the Lord. People dying in sledding accidents. Elderly people out there shoveling the snow when they have a heart condition, and then it's too much for them and they die from that. All of this is the Lord's judgment. And it's funny how basically this was a domino effect. The Lord sent the storm and the cold weather, and things just happened after that. Like there are people who, get into deadly car crashes when it snows. And then you have these sledding incidents. People dying from hypothermia because the temperature drops so severely. And on top of that, the power outages. So a lot of people are without heat for a while. It's just one thing after another. Isaiah 29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. And the Lord is definitely hitting these cities with these storms. In particular, around this time of year, with these snowstorms. Psalms 83:14, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. Verse 15, so persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. And that's clearly what the Lord is doing. He's making people afraid with his storm. Because look at what's been happening. People heard that this was going to be, a major snowstorm. Probably historic even. And they started panic buying, running up in these stores, clearing out the shelves. Buying a bunch of things, probably even some things that they've never even bought before just because. See, that's the power of the Lord right there. And now you have these power outages in certain places, and the power companies are saying that the power might not be on for many more days. So the body count could very well increase from this storm. They say 35 people are already dead. The Lord could easily, double that number or triple it if he wants to. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And we see that on a daily basis. We see the Lord killing and wounding people through his judgments. And those of us of the hopeful elect, who have been blessed with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures, we know that there is nothing that can be done to save these people who fall into the hands of the Lord. That's why in Hebrews 10:31 it says that it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Because there's nothing anybody can do to save you. Whatever judgment you're meant to receive is the judgment that you will receive. 1 Samuel 2:6. The Lord Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. And that's right. Through his judgments, the Lord kills people. Through his spirits that are created for vengeance. Like it says in Ecclesiastes 39:28. And best believe these storms and these tempests are the Lord's spirits of vengeance that he uses to execute his judgments. Death is also a spirit of vengeance. And those 35 people who so far have died were visited by that spirit of vengeance. Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished, being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? And the answer is, no one has ever perished being innocent. So, those girls who died in those sledding incidents, they were not innocent. To carnally minded people, those girls were just having fun, on a sled, that was being pulled by a car or truck. And in that one incident where they said that the sled hit a curb and then hit a tree, and that's what killed that one girl. She was not innocent in the eyes of the Lord, because if she was, the Lord would not have allowed that to happen. There's plenty of people that during winter, they go sledding and everything goes smooth and they go back home and everything's fine. But then there are the opposite of that, where this type of thing happens, where someone dies in a sledding incident. And that's because they were neither innocent nor righteous in the eyes of the Lord. And the Lord chose to judge them while they were partaking in some folly. Verse 8. Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And that is exactly what's happening. Wicked people, wicked men, wicked women, wicked children are reaping what they've sown for being wicked in the eyes of the Lord. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And for those 35 people, it was their time to die. And that's why they're no longer here. That's why that death angel, that spirit of vengeance, was sent upon them, because it was their time. Baruch 4:32. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. And these cities are miserable. And they're becoming more and more miserable by the day, because of all the protests, because of all the violence, because of all the storms, and many, many other reasons. And that's just a sign of the times, sign of the last days, and a sign that we are so close to the Lord bringing down Esau's wicked system and finally establishing the kingdom of heaven, which those of us of the hopeful elect are greatly looking forward to. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, The Wadi Yahal Bashim Yahushai for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. And shalom to all the sincere believers. I hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.